left, we have the Nifty that's opened as flat as can be. The Nifty Bank, though, that's up by close to around 80 points.
Markets opened up at higher levels, record levels. From there, we've slipped a bit as we speak.
Nifty is up 52 points. It has surged a little bit from the lows.
You've got a surge which is appearing, which is right now taken out the high so far for today and yesterday. 18,776 is where the market's going to finally leave at. Banks were kind of underperforming, but there was a strong push higher there as well. Nifty Bank actually ends up by over 0.5%. Mid-cap index ends 1.6 higher. The small-cap index ends higher.
Hello and welcome to CNBC-TV18. You're watching Markets Today, the show where we track about the 6 hours of the trading action and 5 key headlines. I'm Reema Tendulkar, and these are the headlines for the day. Indian indices closed at record highs yet again thanks to a last-hour rally. Metal stocks continue to shine on China's unlock plans, while auto stocks clock gains ahead of monthly sales numbers. PSU banks underperform. CNBC TV18 Newsbreak confirmed the Kirit Parikh panel bats for liberalization of the gas sector by 2027, recommends a reduction in the price until then, annual escalation for gas from existing fields. The proposals are being seen as a positive for the industry. Outgoing Revenue Secretary Tarun Bajaj bats for simplification of capital gains tax, adds that a fiscal deficit target will be met, divestment receipts will perk up, and personal taxes will move towards the one regime. Big block deal in Zomato, 3.4% equity changes hand at an average price of 64 rupees per share. Sources say Alibaba is likely to have sold part of its stake in the company. Meanwhile, Max Financial's promoter may be looking to monetize his stake in the company. Sources say Anarjit Singh is expecting a valuation of 27,000 crore rupees. The company maintains the report is untrue. Gland Pharma strikes a put option agreement to buy contract manufacturer Sensex for 120 million euros, while Biocon gains after completing a $3 billion acquisition of Viatris's biosimilar business. And here's a lineup of what we have for you in store today. In Market Opinion, Gary Schlossberg, Global Strategist of Wells Fargo Investment Institute. And in Big Corporate Voices, we've got Srinivas Sadhu, MD and CEO of Gland Pharma. Okay, first up, markets, Sensex and the Nifty and the Nifty Bank hit yet another record high as bulls entered deep into uncharted waters. Aided by a last-hour recovery led by MSCI inflows, it helped the markets close at the day's high. The Sensex gained more than 500 points, closing above 63,000, while the Nifty was higher by 150 points. FMCG, autos and metals led from the front, while PSU banks underperformed. Prashant is here with a wrap of the day's trading action.
A powerful move emerging in the last 30 minutes of trade. I mean, for the bulk of the day, the Nifty was kind of biding time with about a 30-40 odd point gain. But the real move came after 3 o'clock, and it was a very powerful, strong close, all-time highs coming through for the benchmark indices once again. Banks, which did not participate for the bulk of the day, starting 3 p.m. participated as well. The Nifty Bank ending about 0.6% higher. Broader markets had it even better. The mid-cap index recouped all of its yesterday's 0.75% loss, added more on top, and the small-cap index did not do badly either. Nifty gains coming through in lots of names. Mahindra & Mahindra was the top gainer with a 4% move. Eicher, another one from the auto space. The old economy, Hindalco, Grasim, Ultratech were some of the others which did pretty well as well. Broader market gains, and there were quite a few. Adani Transmission, Adani Green, both up strongly. Shriram Transport was surging, especially in the last 30-40 minutes of trade. There were names like Hudco, Kalyan Jewelers, Lemon Tree was up strongly. There was also, of course, the MSCI impact. Lots of stocks were supposed to be included and money flowed in. This is passive money, and you saw that impact today. Bajaj Holdings, sharp surge. Varun Beverages, a case in point, and Indian Hotels, which moved relatively lesser, but did move towards close as well. So all in all, a pretty good, powerful market, especially so because of the last 30 minutes of trade. I mean, we'll track what happens to global markets, although the impact here on a day-on-day basis, irrespective of what happens in the US, has not been felt as much. But today is particularly important because we've got the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, who will be speaking. His commentary will be important. He's moved markets before one way or the other, and we'll see what he has to say when we come back tomorrow.
Thank you very much for that. Let's get you some expert opinion now. Gary Schlossberg, Global Strategist of Wells Fargo Investment Institute, said that India continues to remain relatively attractive market in the emerging market space. Listen in.
Valuations are certainly an issue, but the growth outlook, even though we do expect to see it losing some momentum over the next 12 months, we continue to find India an attractive, relatively attractive market within the emerging market space.
Let's get to the second headline now. The government-appointed committee to review gas prices has submitted the report to the Oil Ministry. The panel, led by Kirit Parikh, has recommended liberalization of gas prices by 2027. But until then, he has proposed a price band of $4 to $6.50 with an annual escalation in price. Kirit Parikh spoke exclusively to CNBC TV18 soon after the report was made public. Listen in.
What we have suggested is that there should be a floor of $4 per MMBTU. This is to cover the marginal cost of production of OIL and ONGC. And we have also put a ceiling price of $6.5 per MMBTU, which ceiling price will be gradually raised every year by about $0.5 per MMBTU.
When you speak about liberalization of gas prices, you speak about a 1st January 2027 timeline. Now, what?
That's for APM.
That's for APM. Yeah. And January 2026 is for?
Other gas.
For other gas fields, right. Like difficult gas fields.
Sonal Bhutra, my colleague, is here to tell us how this news will impact the various stocks.
Now, every $2 per MMBTU decline in gas costs for these companies would give them a leeway to actually cut prices for CNG and the domestic segment as well. In the CNG segment, it could have an impact of 7.5 to 8 rupees per kg. IGL gets around 87% of its volumes coming in from CNG and domestic gas. That is the PNG gas that we get in our houses. For MGL, it's around 80%. For Gujarat Gas, this is really small, around 38%. So they procure domestic gas to actually give the final output in terms of CNG and PNG gas as well. So now retail prices for CNG after this cut, if it actually comes through, could be cut by 7.5 to 8 rupees per kg. In the PNG segment, it could be cut by 4.9 to 5 rupees per SCM. These companies can decide to cut prices and increase their volumes, and they can also decide not to cut the prices. That will improve their margins. In both the cases, it is a win-win for these companies. The second thing is that for some of these new fields, pricing has not been changed. It is still market determined as per the conversation that we had. This will be positive for the likes of Reliance Industries, which has a lot of new companies or new fields coming up, and ONGC as well. So it is a positive for those companies as well. So yes, it's a win-win for city gas distribution companies and for the new fields, the likes of Reliance Industries and ONGC.
Sonal, thank you very much for that. Let's get to the third headline then. Outgoing Revenue Secretary Tarun Bajaj is confident that the government will meet its fiscal deficit target of 6.4% this year. In an exclusive conversation with Shireen Bhan, he added that the capital gains tax regime needs to be simplified, but went on to say that he was disappointed with the response from what he called conflicting views and interests. Listen in.
The government is feeling very confident that we'll meet our fiscal deficit target of 6.4 in spite of very heavy burden on account of food subsidy, fertilizer subsidy, petroleum subsidy also to some extent having come back. But I think the higher revenues and some other measures which the expenditure side would have taken would see us this year to 6.4. Capital gains tax regime is very complicated. It needs simplification. I've said it earlier and I'm repeating it here that we have various buckets under which we put all products. Financial also we put in different products. So I think all this needs cleaning up, but whether the time is right now, the time maybe was yesterday, if I may say so, but whether it happens this year or not is something for us to see on the 1st of February.
Let's get into a break, but stay tuned. We'll be back in a jiffy with the other headlines.